Good morning to you, beloved friend. Welcome back to the Morning Minute Meditation. 1 Samuel 15:22, Samuel made this statement to Saul. He said, "Hath the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord. Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams." Samuel is dealing with a disobedient Saul. Saul has been given a commandment by the Lord to go into Amalek and to do the bidding of the Lord, to kill everything there and to release Israel from the power of Amalek. This battle and fracas began in the book of Exodus in chapter number 17, and Amalek was always going to be a problem. Now Saul did the majority of what he was told to do. The problem was his lack of full obedience was disobedience. In rearing our 5 children, there were a couple of rules in the home. First of all, slow obedience is disobedience, and partial obedience is disobedience. So often, children of God today are known for their majority obedience. Well, I do the most of what I'm told to do. But God's interest is not in us doing the majority of what we're told to do, but in doing all that we have been told to do. Can God count on your full obedience? So many people today just skirt the edges trying to find the least they can obey God in to get by with God. That is disobedience. That is the spirit of a rebel. Years ago, Archibald Rutledge, who was the first poet laureate in the state of South Carolina, wrote a lot about hunting and fishing in the state of South Carolina. And Archibald was a man whose articles made it into Field and Stream magazine, Outdoor Life, and other publications. He was the author of 50 some odd books. He talked about meeting a man who was heartbroken over the loss of his dog. He made this statement about his dog. He said, "My dog burned up in a forest fire recently and my heart is broken." Mr. Rutledge said, tell me the story of exactly what happened. He said, "Well, I left my dog by my lunch pail in the woods as I went out into the woods to log." He said, "In the middle of the day," he said, I was aware that a forest fire had broken out. The forest fire had come to where my lunch pail was, where my dog was guarding the bucket. I had told him, 'Don't you move.' And he said, the forest fire consumed that dog and killed him. He refused to leave my lunch pail." He said, "The reason for that, sir, is that when I tell my dog to do something, he's going to do it." In other words, the dog sacrificed his life obeying the command that had been given him. Most people are situationally ethical type Christians. In other words, if the situation is conducive to their own prosperity or personal health, it is then that they will obey. But they refuse to obey if it will bring any discomfort to them whatsoever. Can I say that when you look at the Old Testament and New, oftentimes God allowed His people to go into discomfort to prove their duty to Him? Can I say I have no problem with that? God owns my life and has the right to tell me what and when and where to go and what to do. And so with that said, do you operate in obedience or disobedience? Think on these things today, my brethren, and have a great Lord's Day.